There's something happening inside the Loveland Stage Company Theater more than ever before. It seems there's a bit of a changing of the guard. Live stage theater remains the main attraction, with dramas and musicals brought to life in fall and spring productions, along with the annual holiday special during Christmas in Loveland. But there's more. Hello everybody, I'm Chuck Gibson. This is Loveland Beacon Talks. Gary Giver is a member of the LSC board and playing a key role in bringing more entertainment to the LSC stage. Already a music series has produced 2 concerts, along with cabaret-style shows. Gary has taken the lead, bringing the first ever Loveland Shorts Film Festival to the LSC Theater this August. He's here now to tell us more. It's my pleasure to welcome Gary Giver to Loveland Beacon Talks. Welcome, Gary Giver. Thank you for joining us here on Loveland Beacon Talks. Man, we have a lot to talk about, but how are you?
Chuck, I'm doing well. It's a dreary day out there, but overall I am excellent.
Yeah, after we had a couple of good days, we're getting a bunch of rain right now, but it's great to hear that you're doing excellent, and I know you just got back from a great trip. We won't spend any time talking about that too much, but, it's great.
It was a fantastic trip, and how about the eclipse the other day?
Yeah, well, you know what? It was better than I thought. My wife and I we were kind of like going to halfway ignore it, but we did have the glasses, and we went out and looked, and it was pretty cool. How about you?
Loved it. We were in Hamilton.
Oh, did you go? You went down to Hamilton?
2.5 minutes of darkness.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we watched it from our driveway here in Loveland, but it was cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But a lot and for the people listening, in the introduction they hear, that you're the president of Loveland Stage Company. No, wait a minute.
I'm just on the board.
On the board. Okay. I was trying to remember if it was the official title, so I want to get that right. So anyway, Loveland Stage Company board member Gary Giver is our guest, who you're listening to with me right now. And again, thank you so much for joining us to share, what's happened, is happening, and especially we're going to talk about the Loveland Shorts Film Festival that's coming up. But I really want to real quick go back most recent, this past Saturday night, and as we record this on Wednesday afternoon, so just a couple of days ago, the Origins, the second in what's going to be a series of the music series at Loveland Stage Company, but Origins on Saturday night. What did you think?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I didn't know quite what to expect, because I'd never done anything or heard a storyteller round table music, but it was awesome. All the feedback I've gotten is people loved it. Again, they didn't know what to expect, but they just liked the storytelling, the humor, and the music itself.
Yeah. Well, I was there to cover it, and so for the folks listening, you're going to see the story about what happened Saturday night during Mark Leach's Origins that took place at Loveland Stage Company this past Saturday. And just my personal view, which I won't write in the story, but I don't mind sharing here, it was excellent. Like you, didn't really know what to expect. I had some idea because I did a podcast with Mark Leach before, so he gave me an idea of what we could expect, but exceeded those expectations. Those 3, Mark Leach and his 2 buddies, Josh Withenshaw and
Evan McPherson.
No,
not McPherson. Evan
Blankenship. Yeah, but Evan Blankenship, which of course everybody loved because he played football for Ohio State, which I loved. On the other hand, Josh, who's from Michigan, as am I, so we had the Michigan-Ohio State thing. But those guys on stage, forget about Chuck, those 3 on stage, telling the stories of their songs, and then playing their songs, singing their songs, and the banter between them, and a little bit back and forth with the audience even, was a great show.
Yeah, just a really good experience, and we plan to continue the music series. We don't have a set timetable for it or bands scheduled, but just the people in Loveland and surrounding areas, they love it. The feedback I've gotten from soliciting feedback and just people talking to me, they absolutely love having that music venue to go to.
Right. Well, and there's more coming up. So we're going to focus. I guess the first thing coming up right now or the first next thing, is going to be, and this is the whole point of this conversation with you, Gary, I can only imagine how excited you are about the Loveland Shorts Film Festival, but the first thing coming up, tell us about the launch party, April 28th, right?
Yeah, April 28th at Ramsey's. So it's a launch party / fundraiser.
Perfect.
So we started the film festival with zero budget. So we are building the budget.
Right.
And this will be part of that. But at the launch party, we're going to have a raffle. We'll be raffling a Yeti Hall cooler, Gucci sunglasses, a wine basket with some pretty high-end wines in it, and then some season tickets to the stage company, VIP passes to the film festival with some other festival gear thrown in.
Oh, cool.
So we'll have and we hope to have some actors there representing iconic Hollywood actors.
Well, I know I got a
with the
sneak
crowd.
peek at some of the information about the launch party, and it sounds like there's going to be maybe some interesting guests, which you just
Yes.
hinted at, maybe some actors or performers, and that will be interesting.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to it. And there's a buzz about it, about the
cool.
launch party, so I think it's going to be a great success.
So April 28th at Ramsey's, 4 p.m. What time is it?
5 till 8.
5 till 8. So, folks, mark that down on your calendar.
Please do.
Loveland Shorts Film Festival. You'll get some more information. I'm going to try to get everything out of Gary right now while we're talking, so you really won't need to go. No, I'm just kidding. You'll want to go to the launch party because that'll be a lot of fun with an opportunity to help support the film festival and everything. But tell me a little bit. You and I have talked, offline about this when the idea was still kind of growing legs.
Sure.
Tell the people who are listening about what is this Loveland Shorts Film Festival, and this is the first for Loveland.
Yes, absolutely. So I got the idea in 2023, probably in January. So it just started. I actually emailed Mayor Kathy Bailey and David Kennedy saying, "Hey, I've got this kind of off-the-wall idea. What do you think? A shorts film festival." So I just, described it a little bit. And they were all over. They said, "Gary, we back you 100%. So I started forming a team. Dan Peterson, he was the first member I got for the team, along with 2 local filmmakers. So we started laying just the groundwork for the film festival. We contacted other local film festivals just to get an idea of how they're structured, and then started building our team. So we have 7 team members now.
Wow.
We've been at this since April 1 of 2023, meeting on a monthly basis.
Yeah. And repeat, and for the listeners, April 1st of 2023, so over a year ago, started getting together.
That's when we started planning it.
Wow.
Yeah, we've talked to professors at Ohio University, UC, in their school of film.
Right.
So just because I know a little bit about film, but nothing about film festivals. So it's just kind of building from the ground.
Well, have you been out to Sundance in Utah? Or, have you been to a film festival?
I've been to a couple local film festivals.
Okay,
I've been to Sundance, but just to ski. I didn't go to the festival.
I got you. Well, I was actually out there, Park City, obviously,
Yep.
For the Sundance. My wife's not a skier, so she went to the film festival, and myself and my friends, we were on the slopes because I'm about skiing. So we thought we would see some of the films during the film festival, and we did see what it's like, how the people, flock to it and the excitement that's around it. But I ended up not seeing a single film we were on the slopes.
Yeah. But where we are right now and the overall planning process is the film festival will be at the Loveland Stage Company.
Right.
It'll be August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So August 2nd and 3rd will be the screening of the films in various blocks, along with workshops. So the workshops, we have, at this point, 3 workshops planned. One is a workshop for Filmmakers 101. So somebody that wants to be a filmmaker, that is an aspiration, we'll teach them, hey, here's how you need to plan the filming process.
Well, and the people in the work, so like if I'm nobody and just like, hey, like you said, I'd be interested in maybe learning about filmmaking, or I kind of think I want to get into it. the person running that workshop is going to be somebody special that has filmmaking experience. Or
yeah, and actually he taught, and I can't think of the university, Michael Yarrick, he's on the team.
Okay, yeah.
But he taught in Texas. He taught film.
I see. Very good.
So he will be running that workshop.
So these are going to be professional filmmakers, experienced teachers, instructors.
Christine Siciliano, she is going to run a workshop on makeup for horror films.
Oh, cool.
And she does makeup for Kings Island's Halloween Fest.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then J.L. Ariel, John and Lauren, I can't think of their last name.
That's okay.
They own J.L. Ariel, so they do drone footage. In fact, they put together our promo video, the drone footage for that. So they're going to teach a workshop on using drones in your filmmaking. So I think it's 3 really interesting workshops. But the thing we're really focused on are the screenings and the blocks of films.
Sure.
So,
and again, you said August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and for the listeners, that's going to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes.
And you're talking, so the workshops and the screenings are all going to happen Friday and Saturday in those blocks.
Correct.
Okay.
And then Sunday will be the awards ceremony / brunch.
Yeah.
So we're excited.
I just think, from when we talked offline before, is like, what the heck? A film festival in Loveland. You get an image of something different, but you can do this here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just so encouraged with the buzz, when we talk to people. And I will have to say that I said earlier, we started out with a 0 budget, so we've been soliciting businesses and individuals. And the response and just this community, Loveland and surrounding area, just people are so gracious and willing to give to help something that they think will be, just a success and enhance the overall Loveland downtown experience.
Well, you know what, and I'm glad you said that, because that's a great point of, what it can bring to Loveland and, enhance the experience. I mean, not only for those of us who are members of this Loveland community, but for outsiders that come here and see what the community of, not just the community, but the landscape of Loveland has to offer. I mean, we do have, after all, the scenic Little Miami River and the scenic Little Miami River Trail, a.k.a. the Loveland Bike Trail. There, and not to mention the canoe and kayak, the dining. I mean, there's just, Loveland has a lot to offer, so it's really a neat aspect.
Yeah, and I encourage the listeners to go onto our website. It's lovelandfilmfest.org.
Right.
And we did a promo video because we're a first-year film festival. We were a little concerned about filmmakers submitting to us. Yeah. So we did a promo video on Loveland and the film festival that is really, really good. So I encourage people to go in and look at that.
Well, and obviously, when you talk about that, that's highlighting all of what Loveland has.
Yes.
Not just the Loveland Stage Company and the silver screen that the films are going to be viewed on, but it's the experience of being in Loveland is what we're trying to project. Loveland Film Fest, one word.
Yes.
.org.
Yes.
Folks, check that out.
Yep.
And see that. I didn't look at that yet. I have to look at that.
Yeah. So that's our website, and it tells you all about the festival, all about our team, and.
But that video's on there.
Yes. It's on our.
Because I have seen the website, but I just haven't. I didn't look at the film yet.
It's on the homepage, and if there are filmmakers listening, it also will tell you how to submit a film.
Which another great point, because that's the question. Who's going to be here? And what's been happening. The film submission dates began March 1st.
Yes.
And run, so basically right now, when you hear this, we're into April, but submissions for Loveland Shorts Film Festival now through June 20th.
That's correct. Yeah, they close June 20th, and that gives us time to finish the screening of the films, select the films that we want to show at the festival, and put them into the appropriate blocks.
Yeah. And so what now, if somebody wants to submit a film, I mean, are there a variety of different categories of types of films?
Yeah,
so and what's the length? Because this is Loveland Shorts. So that's a key piece.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. So the length is 20 minutes or less.
Okay.
We thought about that, how long we wanted the films, and what is the appetite for someone coming in Loveland to see a film? Do they want to sit there and see a film for 40 minutes, or do they want to see multiple films at the 20 minutes or less? So we chose the 20 minutes or less. But the submission is on a global platform, international platform.
Anybody, anywhere.
Film Freeway, yeah. In fact, we have a submission from Moscow.
Not Moscow, Ohio.
No, Moscow, yeah. Moscow, Russia, yes.
I knew that. Sorry. I couldn't resist.
Yeah, but so our initial target was just local and regional filmmakers to get people that could come to Loveland, to come here for the festival. But we are getting national submissions and international submissions.
Obviously, yeah.
So we're excited.
So the Moscow one is that was like wow.
Yeah, that was we were not expecting that one.
Now, have you and the team screened the submissions that you've seen? Or at least some of the submissions.
Yeah, we have a team. I think there are 12 people on our screening team, and
how did I not get on that team? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a film guy, so you shouldn't have me on the team.
But there are two of us, myself and Kelly Sova. We will watch every film submitted, but the rest of the films are divided up. Kelly, who's running this for us, she will send out 10 films to each screener, and once they're finished screening those, they get 10 more.
Very cool.
So
there's a method.
There is a method.
Process.
So we have 12 screeners, and then we'll probably select 6. We have 6 blocks, so we'll have 6 people leading the blocks to select the films for their blocks out of the ones that have been accepted through the screening process. Then the final is we'll have 4 judges to select the winners of each category.
So, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. Hopefully you have some notes if I'm asking you a tough question. But so what are the categories?
Well, and as a first-year festival, we did not want to have specific categories. We have them in the Film Freeway, and people are submitting per those. But we're really going to wait to set up the blocks until we have the films in, and then determine what the blocks are.
You can categorize them then and say, here's what the
block is. Yeah, but one of the blocks we are having is Sweetheart of the Fest. As kind of a nod to Loveland that has
that only
love
makes
story,
sense.
A love story or something about romance. So that block will be called Sweetheart of the Fest. But
I like that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
No, actually, a producer I've been talking to in New York said, "Hey, it'd be cool if you guys had Sweetheart of the Fest."
That's perfect.
But we have some really, really good documentaries submitted so far. So we'll have a documentary section, probably a horror section, definitely a high school section, because we want local high schools to submit, because we want to highlight their work also.
Now, since the submissions began on March 1st, have you seen some from high school kids yet?
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and high schoolers, I mean, it is amazing the work they're doing. When we went to Cindependent, that's a Cincinnati Film Festival last September, I mean, the high school submissions just blew me away. They're really good.
Nice. Good stuff. Gary, I still, regardless how much we have talked about it, even before this, right here, on the podcast, it just amazes me, because I think, what a task. How are you going to do this? So, which leads to the question, so how have you gotten the word? Obviously there's a website, but how have you gotten the word out? What have you learned personally along the way how to do this?
Well, again, it was talking just initially, setting what's the structure, what do we want to do? So we went to various film festivals, and just a head nod to Allison West. She's the executive director for Cindependent Film Festival.
Right.
We have worked closely with her. We've talked to Dan Peterson has talked to one of the film festivals in Pennsylvania. Mark Sova has talked to various colleges and high schools, their film directors. So just trying to, again, what do we want this festival to look like? We're not trying to be Independent, who is,
Right.
I mean, they're at this tier. But we want to get there.
Well, and for you people who are listening, so Gary's raising his hand a few inches above his head when he says, Independent and other film festival people are at that level. So now, you about your own chin level, or
I'd say at my chin level.
Well, that's great. I mean, it seems to me that you are off to a really good start. I mean, you're seeing submissions coming in, and you've got a team, and you've got people ready to screen these for you, and it seems like it's coming together pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm really excited on how it's coming together.
Yeah.
And I'll have to go back to the funding because we started at
Right.
zero.
Right.
But just a head nod to the Little Miami River Chamber Alliance, Summer Fair, and just individual donors. They've just been fantastic. Because I think what everybody needs to know, when we started this, our biggest obstacle to overcome was the stage company does not have a screen. And the projector that they had was just not of the quality we need for the film festival. So our first hurdle was getting what will be $14,000 to purchase a screen and a projector. So,
Well, now, a minute ago, I was going to say, well, I won't ask you where the fundraising is at so far, but now that you've put a number on, you've got to at least get the $14K.
yeah.
So how are you looking? Are you drawing close to that, or have you surpassed that, or how's it going?
We got to that number a week ago.
No kidding.
Yeah. So we are ready. I'm meeting with Bob Kessler. He's our technical guy on the team.
Sure.
We're taking the last look at the projector and screen that we have talked to a distributor with about. And so we're going to meet one more time to go just to final review and place the order. But we're still, the reason we're having the fundraiser is we still have other ancillary
Oh, yeah,
costs.
I was going to say that's not the only thing, but, without that, the ancillaries don't exist, right? Yeah, we got to have a projector and a screen, right?
Well, and we were always confident that we would get the money. Again, Loveland is just so gracious and supportive of these kind of efforts.
Well, as we sit here and record this on Wednesday, April the 10th, and you're saying basically like a week ago, April 3rd, you reached that first mile marker.
Yes.
And this marathon run to August, you've got that first, you got the drink of water, and
Right.
you're still running. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I congratulate you on getting there. I mean, that's just really wonderful. And as you said, the people in this community step up.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, I'll admit, I had some sleepless nights.
Surprise, surprise. I'm sorry. You're catching up with the sleep now, right?
I am.
Yeah,
I
good.
am, yes.
So, well, outstanding. Is there I do want to sneak this in. So you've had a chance to screen some of the videos.
Yes.
Without giving anything away, we don't want to do any spoiler alerts, but I mean, it's, and you did mention already, like, you're really impressed with some of the submissions from, like, the high school kids, good quality stuff.
Yeah.
But what can you share about maybe one of the screenings that
Well,
man, this is something?
So there were two documentaries that, and we've had more than two, but two in
Right.
particular. I mean, they brought tears to my eyes.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean,
Heart-wrenching.
they really were. I mean, they are that good.
That's pretty
And
cool.
just some of the horror ones, they're really good.
So now the horror ones, are you seeing, like, since you mentioned that, like, are you seeing some, like, special effects stuff, or is it just mostly like the makeup?
it's more of the story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
there's no blood and gore to speak of.
Yeah.
The language, but I can get a little risque at times. But I think that's part of the culture we're in right now.
Well, I know we've had, I did a piece several years ago for the Cincinnati Enquirer about there's something in the water because of the people from Loveland who are part of, Broadway and part of Hollywood and part of New York, in the world of film and the world of television, and certainly Broadway, the on-stage performers. So I did a piece all those years ago. So I know there are people out there from Loveland. So have you been able to connect with, any of the people that are, maybe graduated from Loveland High School or come out of our community that are having success out there in the business?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, you gave me 2 names, Chuck.
Don't tell me.
But yes, I have. In fact, the producer I mentioned from New York, he is from Loveland also.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And he's been very,
I didn't know him.
And also one in Los Angeles. And Kurt Sova, he is Mark and Kelly Sova's son, and Mark and Kelly are on the film festival team. He's a filmmaker.
Oh, very cool.
And he's won awards, and he's currently working in Los Angeles also.
Yeah.
In fact, he just got back from South Africa and doing some film work over there.
Nice. So there's going to be, it's here in Loveland, but there's also going to be some Loveland connection.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I guess the other side is, and I think I know that maybe one of the ones that I mentioned is submitting a film to
Yes.
the festival. So so there's going to be some submissions from the Loveland filmmakers.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I think we have 2 in the submissions now. I'm screening them all, so I get a little confused on where they come from sometimes.
But I can understand. What do you like? Again, we're at April 10th right now, so you're basically 38 to 40 days into submissions coming in. Any idea? I mean, have you seen hundreds of submissions, or probably close to? What do you say?
No, my original goal was 300 for a first-year film festival.
I see.
Like Independent, I think they get 1,200 a year, but they've been doing this for a while. So we're a first year, and Allison West, she actually warned me, hey, as a first year, you will struggle to get submissions. That's why we put our promo video together to kind of a hook to a filmmaker saying, hey, this looks pretty cool. But if we get 100, I'll be happy. And that gives us, we plan to screen 45 films, so it gives us a pretty good selection process. But I think we'll get at least 100, but I'm still hoping for 300. They've been coming in a pretty steady stream. So.
Well, there's still time.
Yeah.
It's for you filmmakers who happen to catch this podcast, submissions now through June 20th.
Yes.
And, the place to find out all you need to know, Loveland Film Fest, all one word, .org.
.org.
And that you can figure out how to send your submissions and who's who and what's what. But again, recapping for the people, so at the Loveland Stage Company, the inaugural Loveland Shorts Film Fest, August 2 through 4, which is a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What kind of packages? I mean, for somebody that wants to come, do you have to buy all 3 days, or can you get individual tickets, or how does that?
So the way we've set up the tickets, they're in tiers.
Okay.
So you can get a VIP pass.
Right.
So, and what that gets you, it gets you into all the screenings, all the blocks, all the workshops. We're having a welcome coffee hour, gets you into that. We're having after-hours parties on Friday and Saturday, and it also gets you into that. So that's the VIP pass. Then you can buy a 2-day pass for Friday and Saturday. That gets you into all the screening blocks, all the workshops, and the coffee hour. And then you can buy a 1-day pass that gets you the same thing, but just either Friday or Saturday.
One of the 2 days.
Now,
and then the Sunday is the awards day.
The award, and thank you. The VIP pass gets you into the awards ceremony also, and brunch. Now, if you just want to see a block, we are not selling advance tickets for those. Those will be at the door.
Day of shows.
Or
day of screenings, I should say.
So if you want to go to the block on Friday from 2 to 4:30, you can go and pay.
We want the Sweetheart one, right?
Yes. I think that one is going to be a really, really good block.
It'll be popular.
Yes.
I'm sure of it here in Loveland.
Yeah, and a couple of the ones that we got that have been submitted for this. In fact, Moscow's submission was for the Sweetheart of the Fest.
A love story from Moscow or something romantic.
And they're really good.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And, I mentioned language, but we also have ones that are not, that are just rated G, that are really good also.
Oh, very. Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you said that because we touched on, as you said, some are going to be a little bit more on the risque side, maybe the R-rated.
Well, and we're
nothing X.
No. Yeah, no. But and in our program, we are going to just give a heads up on here's what you can expect.
Right.
So if there's language or talks about, we have some that talk about mental health issues.
Yeah.
Also, so we just want to give people a heads up so they're aware before they purchase.
Which heartstrings are going to be tugged?
Yes,
so
exactly.
to speak. If they go to the, I did get that right, lovelandfilmfest.org site. The prices for your VIP or your dailies are there. I wasn't going to make you tell them on here, but the prices are on the website for the ticket prices.
Yeah, I just want to make sure real quick I gave you the right. So, lovelandfilmfest.org. That's exactly right.
Loveland. I just want to make sure it wasn't Loveland Shorts, but it's lovelandfilmfest.org.
Yes.
And the people will see that with the podcast story on Loveland Beacon. We'll have that'll be there in print for them, and the direct link will be there for them, Gary. So
and we have not.
They can find you.
Yeah. Now we have opened, obviously, submitting films, but we have not opened tickets yet. But all the ticket pricing is on the website.
Okay, very good. So they can find out what it's going to be, and probably, at a certain point, after the launch, obviously, there'll be some point where you release, tickets are available.
Yeah, in fact, I'm working with Loveland Stage Company to open up the ticketing, and we hope to do that by the end of April.
Well, and since it's Loveland Stage Company, we're getting here at the last minute to close off our time together here. Well, hopefully we'll get together again.
Yeah.
Before August, before the film festival actually happens. It's very exciting, to see what's happening and maybe catch up with you along the way.
Sure, and maybe I can even share some of the films that we plan on screening.
That'd be great,
a little bit about
them. Yeah, so do a little promotion for what's coming up. But that aside, it is Loveland Stage Company, and the next thing up for Loveland Stage Company, aside from the launch party, is, again, just finished Origins this past Saturday on April the 6th. But there's a couple things. The Red Velvet Cake Wars, May 3 through 19 on those
Correct.
weekends.
Yeah.
So that's the next show coming up.
Yeah, and that's set up in cabaret style.
Yeah.
So there will be tables up front with your ticket also gets you some food and adult beverages.
Very good. And then I should have asked you this offline. And if you don't have information on it, just say, hey, no problem. But I know that's this weekend coming up. Today's the 10th, so Friday is the Crab Cakes and Murder, where Loveland Stage Company has partnered with Nest, CLC, and that's an event that's not happening at the Stage Company, but at RSVP. Is there anything you can add about that? Or
not a lot. But yes, so the Stage Company is providing the actors.
I got you.
So I encourage you to go. One, it supports Nest, fully supports Nest. And the actors I know have been working at it for about a month and a half, and they're still rehearsing this week, preparing for Friday night. So it should be a really good event.
Gary, thank you so much for joining us and sharing the Film Fest story and a little bit more. And the other thing I want to personally thank you is it is really nice to see, and that you're part of it. I know it's not just you, but the Loveland Stage Company, you, the board, the members, expanding what the Loveland Stage Company is doing with the music series and the cabaret shows. There's some new things happening besides a fall show and a spring show and the kids' summer show, which by the way, that's coming up as well. I didn't say anything about that. But it's really nice to see that theater, opening up for some additional events for the community.
Yeah,
That's
well,
awesome.
The Stage Company's focus will always be, live theater and musicals and plays. But Chuck, well, thank you for saying, because it is nice to expand and offer other types of entertainment.
Yeah.
That one will just increase what the Stage Company can offer and build its coffers to become a top tier theater.
Yeah, very good.
I'm raising my hand above my head again, but way above.
I wasn't even going to tell him this time, but yeah, that top tier is a couple inches above Gary, and Gary's he's not 5'6", folks. He's a tall man, so that's a top tier when he's talking about that. Well, listen again. Thank you so much for joining us on Loveland Beacon Talks.
Well, Chuck, thank you.
You're very welcome. I can't wait till we talk again to hear what else is happening with the Loveland Shorts Film Fest.
I'm looking forward to it. Chuck, thank you.
You're welcome.
Be sure to watch for more details of the Loveland Shorts Film Festival at lovelandfilmfest.org. I'm Chuck Gibson saying thanks for listening. Loveland Beacon Talks is a presentation of Loveland Beacon as part of Loveland Beacon Digital Productions and Gibson Communications, LLC.